The Vanguard Group and State Street just bought the dip in Virgin Galactic. We know this because we had a 13F update, which is when investors, institutional investors, have to disclose their stock holdings once a quarter. So we had that earlier this week, and we are seeing that Vanguard increase their position in Virgin Galactic by 15%. State Street increased their position by 21%. So this tells me that the largest institutions in the world, the most prominent investment managers, are becoming more and more bullish on Virgin Galactic. And when we take a look at the company's fundamentals and the bullish news that we've gotten over the past couple months with multiple successful flights, that really just tells us that Virgin Galactic has never been in a better spot in terms of fundamentals. Obviously, rates are higher when just compared to when shares were $50, obviously. So there's reasons for the recent drop, but it's really not specific to Virgin Galactic. Obviously, the company doesn't make money, and they just had to recently dilute shareholders. But at the end of the day, the company is in a significant better spot than they were, just 6 months ago. And I think this buy from Vanguard, State Street, definitely signals that. But with that being said, let's take a look at some of the other institutions that had made changes to their holdings over the past quarter. So we also saw Wolverine Asset Management. They increased their holdings by 23%, and they now hold about 3 million shares. And then Morgan Stanley also increased their holdings by 34%. They own about 2.6 million shares. And then Goldman Sachs was a seller, so they sold about 10% of their holdings. And then we see Charles Schwab was actually a buyer of about 4%. That's just what they increased their holdings by. They own about 1.8 million shares now. And we saw Citadel get out pretty aggressively. They actually saw a decline of about 27% of their holdings. And that was so that was actually a couple months ago. We had that update, so that's not new information, just for full disclosure. And then let's keep on moving here. We can see that the Bank of America actually had decreased their holdings by 59%. Bank of Montreal increased their holdings by 96% and now own about 700,000 shares. And then we can see here also that Deutsche Bank decreased their holdings by 10%. So yes, there are some varying opinions when you go up and down the most recent changes, but at the end of the day, the largest shareholders, the most prominent investors in the world, are buying more Virgin Galactic. So, if you like this company when it was $50 and now it's $2 and they've had multiple successful flights, they were the first space tourism. They conducted the first space tourism flight just recently. I don't understand why you would not want to buy the stock at $2 if you were interested at $50. That just doesn't make sense to me. I think this kind of goes into the group think that is in the market, right? Once everyone is talking about a stock, once everyone is bullish on a stock, it's usually too late, right? So, there's an old saying, an old Warren Buffett saying, buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy. Well, right now there's a ton of fear in terms of Virgin Galactic's company. And personally, I think that is a very big opportunity for shareholders and for, those that are looking to get in here. And speaking of opportunity, let's take a look at the space tourism market and the amount of growth that we're projected to see within that market. So we are projected to have a 41% compounded annual growth rate from 2023 to 2030. So that is an absolutely insane growth rate, right? And you can see, that how that actually looks on a chart, and it looks beautiful. And I definitely do think this number here signals that the space tourism trend isn't going away. High net worth individuals are going to continue to spend on this once in a lifetime experience that you really can't get anywhere else. But in terms of getting this experience from others, let's take a look at the competition for this space tourism business. So, just going from least expensive to most expensive, there is a $125,000 option for Space Perspective Company. It's basically like a hot air balloon. So you can see that here, pictured right here. It's a bit of a different experience, right? You're not going up in a spaceship, you're going up in an air balloon here. But it is worth noting that the price is significantly below Virgin Galactic's $450,000 ticker price. But it is worth noting as well, this isn't available yet. So this is apparently supposed to be coming in 2024. As we saw with Virgin Galactic, these timelines can be pushed back, right? It's a very tough thing to get, to bring tourists in a spaceship to space. That is not an easy lift regulatory wise. So, don't really think this 2024 year date is really logical or likely, honestly. But obviously anything can happen. Then Virgin Galactic, obviously 450,000, and then the next cheapest option is Blue Origin at $28 million. So it would take $28 million for a 12-minute ride in a spaceship. That seems kind of crazy. Obviously, Virgin Galactic is a 90-minute ride for a 450,000. So that's obviously, you're getting more for your dollar here with Virgin Galactic, obviously. And then SpaceX also has something that is available now, to be fair, but it cost $55 million, and it's a 3-day stay inside SpaceX Dragon capsule, circling around the world with 3 crewmates. So that's obviously a different experience, 3-day experience, but still it's, significantly above Virgin Galactic's sticker price of 450,000. And then we see another one here in conjunction with SpaceX, another 55,000. 55 million. It's a 10-day trip to the International Space Station, including a week-long stay in an orbital lab. So this is a 17-day experience. So this definitely is a little longer, but once again, it's $55 million. And then another one here about 50 mil to 60 million, and this is actually available now, and it's a 12-day trip to the International Space Station. So that's really the competition within the space tourism industry. But with that being said, I know there's a lot of shareholders that watch these types of videos, so I'm going to jump in the chart and give a price prediction on the stock. So obviously, shares have declined significantly over the past couple days, and especially over the past couple weeks from this, $6 high. So one thing I'm noticing here is that over the past 3 days, we've seen stock fall off pretty significantly, but we've also seen volume slump. So anytime you see a drop in a stock combined with a volume drop, that typically implies a reversal in trend, which would obviously be a bullish development for this company. So a reversal in trend would obviously mean that the stock would, move higher. And we are hitting around a support level. So shares did jump off this kind of $3 level. Obviously, we're a bit below support at this point in time. But at the end of the day, support and resistance is a general range. It's not really a specific number to the penny. That's not really how it works typically. So I would but I do really want to see that this level holds here, and then we see the stock kind of turn around over the coming weeks. And it's also worth noting that shares are oversold according to RSI. For those that don't know, anytime RSI signals a level that is below 30, it signals that the stock is oversold, meaning that we could see some buying. So that's definitely a good sign for the stock. We're oversold. We're coming down to a major support level. We're in that support kind of range. I do think that shares could likely turn around from this level and move higher. Obviously, if the Nasdaq falls off 10% in the next 2 weeks, the stock's going to move lower. At the end of the day, every stock is kind of beholden to the general indexes. But with all else being equal, I do think that we likely turn around from here and we see a move higher up to the 100-day moving average over the coming weeks, which would be about $3.70. So that's kind of the move I am seeing for the stock. Obviously, like I said, this is barring any massive sell-off. And then we could take a look at the seasonality trends quickly. Obviously, it's not the end-all be-all, but this shows me which months are good for are good for Virgin Galactic and which months are poor in terms of stock performance. So we can see here that in August, shares typically decline 13% on average, which obviously isn't a good number. So we're in the worst month for the stock in terms of a seasonality trend. Not great. Don't love to hear that. Don't love to report that, but it is just the facts. So with that being said, I think we could jump off this support level as it kind of coincides with oversold conditions for the stock. And we could see how when the stock was oversold in December, we ended up moving higher up to about $7. And then when the stock was oversold in April, we ended up moving higher to about $6. Now we're oversold again. I do think it would be somewhat likely that we could see another move higher just based on the stock's history. So that is my prediction for Virgin Galactic. Went over a lot today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will end it there. If you got some value from this video, please leave a like. We post company breakdowns and important market moving news on this channel on a daily basis, so make sure you are subscribed. If you would like to receive my daily portfolio moves, my exits, my entries, and see how me and my team of analysts are trading the markets, join the Discord through the link in the description below to get our free 7-day trial. Also, if you would like to join our free daily newsletter, sign up to our Substack, which is linked below as well. With that being said, good luck everyone. Happy trading, happy investing.